You have been cordially invited to a world of wonder and intrigue, of steam and invention, of magic and mysteries, where nobles wave playbills at scientists who deepen thought, nearly trip over pixies, delivering news to tinkerers beneath the stage of New Europa. Sit back and enjoy the scene as the actors act, the singers sing, and the players play out the adventures of Castle Falkenstein.
And good evening, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Adventures in Castle Falkenstein. I am Simon, Wandering DM. Tonight I'll be playing Jonathan von Brandt, the elf soldier. Welcome. We'll go around the table, introduce ourselves and our host in a few moments. But first, I want to let you all know that this stream, like all of our streams here at Wandering DM, is sponsored by Mage Hand Press. Mage Hand Press, the makers of such good books as Dark Matter that we play here on Tuesdays, or Taverns and Tankards, or The Complete Warden. If you want to check them out, you can go at store.magehandpress.com and use code WanderingDM to get 15% off anything that you buy. With that said, let's go around the table, introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, how are you doing on this fine Friday evening, and let's start with Kenny.
Hello, I am Kenny, and I play your pseudo-dragon pew-pew boy, Clint Smolder, and I am doing well. Happy to be here.
Cool, happy to have you. Next to Clint is playing the Contessa. Who are you?
Well, hey all, you know me. I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax D. I am the Contessa Lucrezia Sofia Fioravanti, and I'm here to have fun. And lots of fun. It'll be great.
And right next to me is PB.
Hi, I'm PB from my PB Plays Inside, and today I will be playing Isolina Atenas Montiel, a lovely woman on her honeymoon on this great train on the way to just greatness. I can only assume at this point. So,
and wrangling us like a bunch of cats is our host, Chris. How are you?
Glorious, because it's a train to glory and greatness. So we are going to have a wonderful night, and I'm super excited for this. If you're ready, I'm ready.
I am ready for the recap and everything. Go right ahead.
Excellent. Last episode on Adventures in Castle Falkenstein, our cast investigated the mysterious corpse residing in Captain von Brandt's bunk. After ruling out necromantic traps and other worrisome elements, the captain fished out the man's wallet and found that he was a cobbler named Frederic Ronaldo of Barcelona, Spain. He was traveling with 3 boxes about the size of a shoebox. Imagine that. Which he had stored in Captain's bedside trunk. The captain hadn't been using it after all, and the key was still in the lock. Inside the wallet, von Brandt also found a calling card for one Benjamin Talbot, the rumored leader of the Promethean Society, bringing back memories for Isolina and the Contessa. Moving on from the body, the group entered the baggage car so Lady Graven, the employer of Clint Smolder, could investigate the area for any necromantic magic that may have created the zombie who attempted to kill von Brandt and Clint earlier in the afternoon. In the first baggage car, Isolina's investigation turned up the body of Nate, the missing conductor, and in the second baggage car, Lady Graven's spells revealed where the zombie had been stored, in a trunk purchased from Esme's former employer. After a thorough search of the baggage cars, the party realized the thief may have killed Nate and stuffed him in the trunk. Who the zombie was and who animated it, setting its deadly sights upon the captain, is still a mystery. The magic used by Lady Graven seemed to have sapped her greatly, so the Contessa recommended that they all head back to the bar car, their favorite car. On the way back, the two remaining conductors and Father Korsakov were attending to Signor Ronaldo's corpse. After a bit of conversation with the good father, the party learned that Signor Ronaldo was likely a courier for the Promethean Society, though he couldn't be certain, as they are a bit compartmentalized for everyone's safety. We ended the night back in the private room of the parlor car as the party assessed what they had learned and prepared for dinner before their stop in Geneva. Part of that preparation seemed to be a very close inspection of the Contessa's Sealy corset pin, done by Captain von Brunt. Who on the train can raise the dead? What was the cobbler couriering? Will there be another attempt on von Brunt's life? With those questions lingering like the captain's gaze, let us rejoin our cast as they continue their performance upon New Europa's stage. But before we draw back the curtain and pour another drink, we will consult the fortune deck as we do each session. What do the cards have in store for our plotting players? We will begin with a help hinder harm, and our help card, a 10 of hearts. 10. The reaping, hearts, emotions, relationships, connections. The end of one is the beginning of another. What relationship may come to an end that brings them closure? What might hinder them? The eternal 8. 8 of diamonds, health and wealth. Something on this plane eternal that is out to do them harm could be in their way. And what may harm them? If they're not careful, communication, gone astray along the wrong path, the 6, the path card, could lead them in the wrong direction. So, let us return to the parlor car, where our players were seated waiting for dinner to arrive. Captain, inspecting the Sealy script on the hairpin tucked into the corset of one Contessa, Lucretia Sofia Ferrante. And awkwardly sitting next to them were Isolina and Clint talking about the weather, if I remember correctly. So
That's correct.
now that the lights have dimmed outside as the sun has set and the lights have risen inside the car, and there's a knock at the door. Dinner.
Well, you'll excuse me, Capitan. I should go get the door, yes?
Oh, yes. Yeah, go right ahead, and I'll
Thanks.
sit back down.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. She's gonna walk over and unlock the door and just standing behind the slide, just look out and see who it is.
It's the waiter from the bar car.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Just bring it right on in.
Okay. You'll see him kind of like shimmy in as he has 2 different trays, both of which have lids on them.
Mm-hmm.
He'll deftly slide one on the table between, that would be Clint and the Contessa, and the other on the table in between the captain and Isolina. He'll then lift the 2 lids, and you'll see that there are 2 plates on each of them of something delicious from the dining car. It looks like chicken with rice pilaf and steamed asparagus. Good Lord, I couldn't find the word. Is there anything else you require?
No, I think, do we need another? No, we're good. We have a couple bottles. Thank you very much. We'll ring if we need any further assistance.
Very well. You'll see him kind of like turn and walk very quickly out. They've been very busy on the train. And he'll shut the door behind him as he goes.
And the Contessa would lock it and then go sit down.
Okay.
So, nobody's dead. Yay. Well, I mean, aside from the 2 people who were dead earlier.
Well, nobody that we know of, or nobody knew that we found.
And no one is currently undead, so there's that plus.
I know earlier I was thinking that maybe the people trying to get after the captain here and people trying to steal the statue were kind of blended, but now it seems like those were just separate events.
Possibly. Who knows?
Are all train rides in Europe this eventful?
I mean,
No. Sadly, no. Not for all of us, at least.
Just pick the right train, I suppose.
yes. I mean, usually I have more fun in other ways on trains. But this is a little bit different.
I'll agree, this is different.
So,
The captain's just stuffing his mouth.
well then. We know. Are we concerned about anything between here and Geneva, or are we just going to relax a little bit until we get there and then figure probably in the crest of the entire city, on the train, when things are slowed down, someone will try and kill the good Capitan?
Well, I have a feeling that they know that it's not going to be as easy as they thought. We should be considering, well, the more sly ways. And Clint looks at the meal, just briefly.
You think it's poison?
Well, golly, I hope not.
It's kind of late now.
For a man who is, trying to be murdered, you're really, 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 how does one say? Not careful, even a little bit. One would say maybe you want to die.
No, I don't. Wow, no. Far from it. I don't know, I thought I'd die on the field facing my enemy. Not through some, poison isn't something that I tend to think about. I'm not a poisoning man myself.
I look down at your half-eaten meal and I'm like, clearly.
I mean, the odds doesn't. Well, none of the obvious poisons are there.
Plus, they wouldn't know which plate I'm eating from. Perhaps this one is fine, but the next one, I motioned to the one that's right next to mine, is probably the one that was destined for me. Who knows, maybe that one is poison.
Well, I mean, given that they killed your own man and then murdered some poor innocent in your bed, I would probably just poison all of these.
Makes sense.
But it's also mealtime.
And I don't feel any worse for wear.
Okay, let me see. Can the Contessa just look at everything and see that, because she has some training in poisons, using her education to see if there are any obvious signs of poisoning on any of these?
Sure. I mean, if there is anything on the plates as the Contessa scans over them, she'll see that none of those markers are there.
Okay.
So it would have to either be someone that's really good at it or the cook themselves.
Yeah. We don't have any arsenic. We don't have any, well, no almonds, so no arsenic. No appearance of cyanide. You're fine for most of the regulars. Also, no belladonna, nightshade, none of the irregulars.
Much like the balloon, I imagine it'd have to be a bit more exotic.
Don't worry. And she just kind of like starts picking at the rice pilaf.
And Clint will start eating from his plate as well.
Does Isolina want to do anything skeptical to the rice?
No. Aside from my just general skepticism of food on a train.
Fair enough.
Can I do an insight check for the food?
Wrong game.
Yeah.
Oh. So you have dinner, which seems perfectly fine. And you feel about the time that you finish, well, not the captain. Captain finishes quickly as he is wont to do with his food. Other things, not so much.
Thanks for adding
and
that.
no problem. Well, I just trying to shoot for accuracy here. And you'll start to feel the train slow. They're not quite braking to stop yet, but you can tell that they are coming within sight, and they're trying to slow their pace as they're coming down the mountain into Geneva. Are there any last-minute preparations you'd like to do? You're estimating you have about 10 minutes before reaching the train station.
No, the train is going through, right? We don't have to change trains in Geneva. We're just continuing on to Munich from here. All right.
Correct.
Then no, she's just going to sit back a little and relax and just kind of watch the captain
Fair
and
enough.
kind of keep an eye out on the outside as well.
There will be a layover of about 3 hours as they have to restock, primarily water.
Clint will start popping open their watch and closing it, popping it open, closing it.
Okay.
And after about a couple minutes of that, he'll speak up and say, maybe we should think about what happens when new people board the train.
Well, I assume more people are going to come to try and kill the Capitan.
It would be the best opportunity.
Most of them will wait a short while and then they will go directly to the bar. Maybe a parlor, but usually to the bar.
Well, there's a lot of chaos with people moving around.
Hmm.
Maybe we stay still.
Staying still is good.
Wait
It's a
until
lot-
we get moving. Sorry.
Yeah, it would be very easy for someone to slip a pin in an opportune location in a crowd.
And here I was wanting to stretch my legs a bit. Alright, still it is.
Well, if you're feeling in need for some light exercise, Capitan, you can definitely go walking if that is your choice. Might want to take an escort.
You all just said that I might be poisoned, or there could be an attempt on my life as I'm walking about because of all the new people, because of all the crowds. I think I'll listen to Isolina and not want to die, so I'll stay put.
That's very pragmatic of you.
It defeats the purpose of being seen in public. I thought this is what we were going for originally.
More along the lines of being seen when is necessary.
If we want to lure someone out, being seen is good, but with all the hustle and bustle, it's going to be hard to track anyone, let alone a killer.
Let's put it this way. If you want to be seen, we'll wait until after we leave Geneva, because on the platform, there'll be people going in and out and people coming from other trains or going to other trains. It's less about being seen and more about an opportunity in a crowd.
There's one other thought. So we're worried about the killers, right? What about the thieves?
Hmm. Well, right now, what they were looking for is very well hidden,
Okay.
secured.
But it's also an opportunity for some more of them to get on board as well. So we're going to have some split attention.
Hmm.
Should we also be wary of any new conductors that come on board?
I
Wary
mean,
of-
go ahead.
I think we should be wary of anyone that is new. At this point, we do not know who works for whom. Or if their face is their own face. Or if they're alive. Really, there's a lot of, variables here that we need to consider.
To be frank, the only person I trust right now, besides y'all, is Tristan.
Hmm. And the good Monsignore.
Oh, I mean, trust by association, I suppose, but I don't know him.
Trust is a very strong word.
Let's put it this way. I trust that the good Monsignore is not good at lying.
That's
Not
fair.
saying things. He's very good at not saying things. But he's a very honest individual.
All right. I can respect that.
So, there's that. But otherwise, I mean, the good Capitan is armed. Clint, you are armed. Isolina always has at least one gun. Will be fabulous.
All right. I just wanted to say these things out loud before, the captain got restless.
I'll remain sitting here. Don't you worry about me none.
I imagine all of us are kind of just pulling some face at that point.
The Contessa, it's a total lack of face. It's like,
Yeah, I think Clint goes back to opening his watch, closing it.
I do remember that the parlor car is still fairly public, even though this is technically a private room.
Mhm.
It does have windows to the outside that are not, they don't have shades.
Oh, so we can see people walking in and out of the parlor car? Okay.
No, not in and out of the parlor car, from outside.
Oh, from outside. Okay.
From outside.
so if we pull into the station, you can see out onto the station.
Yes, and the station can see into the car.
So we're station side on the car?
You will be, yes.
Okay.
Platform side. Well, unless of course we want to make this very private, I think this is the best we can do at the moment.
I think very private would be a bit cramped.
And the Contessa just looks over at Isolina. I'm being good. I'm not going to say it, but I thought it. And then looks back at Clint.
Clint has no other look.
All right, so we stay here. Capitan, are you done looking in very intently, or would you actually like to see it closer at hand?
What? The pin?
Hmm.
I've already given it a look.
Okay, good.
I don't think he moves his eyes for a long while before he realizes what's happening.
It's kind of what she's thinking.
Okay. At which point, you'll feel the train braking as it's coming into the station, and there'll be another knock at the door.
Who is it?
I'm here to collect the dishes.
Of course. And she'll get up and unlock the door. Again,
Yeah.
sliding the
Mhm.
slide.
And it's the waiter again. And he will enter in if you let him.
I'm assuming that everyone's kind of done eating at this point.
Has been for a while in my case.
Then yeah,
I mean,
she'd
you
let
had
him.
45 minutes.
Yeah, we had dinner. We ate.
So he will collect whatever's left and take it out of the car.
Then after he leaves, she just closes and shuts the door again and reaches down and pulls out one of the bottles and pours herself probably a nice red after dinner, and is just going to sit there and sip on the red.
Okay.
Dry.
As you sit back down, Isolina and you will both notice that there's a piece of paper slightly under the captain's chair.
Well, I'm not crawling on the floor to get that.
Oh, you're muted.
Von Brunt, would you be a dear? And there's a piece of paper that appears under your chair. Could you please grab that for us?
Oh, really? Is there? Oh. Huh. And I'll bend over and pick it up.
As you grab it, you notice that it's cardstock. It's a calling card, like what you had seen before. Similar shape and size. And when you pull it out, I'm assuming you inspect it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look it over.
It's the same card that you retrieved from the wallet from Benjamin Talbot. Maybe it fell out of your pocket.
Do you tell us what it is?
Wait, and I'll look into my pocket to see if I have another copy of the card.
You do.
Well, that's strange. It's the same card we found on the cobbler.
I told you he was creepy.
Maybe we need to change rooms.
Or, we could just open the door and scream out loud, Benjamin Talbot, you're being creepy. Why don't you come inside and knock like a civilized person?
I'm not one for screaming usually.
Neither am I, but it would make me feel better.
I mean, lady's choice.
I don't know, Contessa. You strike me as quite the screamer.
You'll have to try and figure that out yourself. Very few have ever actually gotten there.
I blush. But, do you think the waiter could have dropped it?
From the looks of those cards, it doesn't look like they're cheap or to be thrown around.
No, but I don't think this Benjamin Talbot fellow can make cards magically appear wherever he likes.
Clint, could you please check that charming watch that you've been looking at for like the last hour?
Yeah, Clint will pop open his watch.
It looks perfectly like it always has.
There's no time missing?
What
Yeah,
would you compare it to?
Like, from like when the dinner came in to when it was picked up, it doesn't feel like time has gone wobbly.
No?
Nah, it seems on the right for me.
Or we've pulled into the station, right?
Yep. And right about now is when it comes to a complete halt.
Okay,
Got the
so
little jostle.
she would kind of lean slightly to look out the window to see if the station clock matches the watch that Clint has.
Sure. They're within a minute or so.
All right. Okay, that's all right. I feel that to be better.
So you were saying that this friend of yours, and I don't remember if we made the connection with the oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name? The priest, the
Father
Korskov.
Korsakov.
Korsakov and Talbot. Did we
Yeah.
make that connection? Okay.
Isolina and the Contessa told you.
Okay. If he's involved with Monsignor Korsakov, with his sorts of work, I don't think it'd be too hard to make a card appear then. But obviously, he has a message.
It would be really nice if he would just come and talk. Isolina, right? I'm a very approachable person.
I mean, to some, absolutely.
I'm so nice.
Is the good Monsignor still on board?
You don't know.
Did we? I also don't remember. Did we discuss Mr. Talbot's card being on the cobbler's body with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's
in
the first time
order.
we talked about Talbot.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
Okay.
remember.
Fine.
Well, he said he was going to stay until Munich. Usually, if he's going to leave, he would probably let us know. If he was called away by something urgent, I'm sure. But
Well, there wasn't a dead body to punctuate this card,
no.
thankfully. But seems a little bit foreboding, if I do say.
Perhaps Father Korsakov would know what these cards mean, and if Mr. Talbot is indeed trying to communicate with us, he might know of a way that we can communicate back. Because I'm afraid having just the calling card, and I flip it over, I look to both sides, there doesn't seem to be anything on it that, aside from their address, I mean, we're in Geneva, they're in London.
Mm-hmm. The one that was under your chair, though, does not have an address. It just has his name.
Is this one of those things like the little children play in the games when they're, bored? If you say it 3 times in a mirror, he'll suddenly show up?
Do you have a mirror?
Always.
Can I have it?
Certainly. And she'll reach into a reticule and pull out a compact.
Okay.
It's a simple, just black or silver.
Can't believe I'm about to do this. Benjamin Talbot, Benjamin Talbot, Benjamin Talbot.
Nothing happens.
Well, that was worth a shot. It's not working.
I've seen a lot of magic. I don't know if that's how that works.
I said it was a game that small children played. I didn't say. I mean.
Well, that's a good joke then. And Clint will start chuckling.
It was
I,
worth a try.
Anything.
Could I see the card real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Capitan?
Yeah, I'll hand it over.
I'm just gonna look at the card and flip it over and see if there's anything of interest on it.
Well, like I had mentioned before, unlike the one that you saw that was put into Oberon's breast pocket, it is blank where the address was listed previously. Yes.
I'm gonna just run my fingers over it just to see if I can feel any ink, any invisible ink there, or any indentation.
There is a difference in the texture ever so slightly.
Is it nighttime?
It
Evening?
is.
It is. Do we have a candle of some sort available to us?
On this train, there are actually gas lamps that got activated by the conductors.
I don't know much about gas lamps. Do they provide the same amount of heat needed to activate an invisible ink?
It's a flame, so think like a kerosene lamp or
Mm-hmm.
propane. It's a flame.
I will take your word for it. Okay, I will go over and I will put it over the hot part. Fucking no.
Okay.
And I will see if it activates anything.
Okay. Sure enough. How do you want to remove the glass globe? Because that's going to be hot.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I'm gonna. I don't know.
Maybe we have a napkin or two lying around from dinner if the person who's cleaning wasn't thorough.
Or the Contessa will just take her gloves off and hand them to Isolina.
Oh, well, there's that.
There you go.
But why you gotta make things easy?
Because she's beautifully dressed and doesn't like to do things the hard way.
So I think Clint starts looking around for something else and just starts like lifting up cushions or something.
I think the Contessa's like, why are you doing
As Clint's scouring for a towel or napkin, the Contessa gives you gloves to wear. Because as you reach up to touch the glass, so think of it like the old kerosene lamps. And it's got that, little like, I don't know, fluted globe where you have to lift it off to get to the flame. You can do so with the gloves.
Okay, I will do so and set it aside.
Okay.
And then I will carefully move the card closer to the flame
Excellent.
and see if that does anything, if that reveals anything.
It does begin to, absolutely. And a message appears on the back of the card.
And what does this message say? What does good old Talbot have to tell us this time?
Beware the Lady of the Golden Dawn. It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
What do you mean, our acquaintance? We haven't ever met. And whatever. Well,
he's a creeper. He's a creeper.
He was the waiter all along.
Ta-da-da. It might actually be. He might not be wrong. Well, it says beware the Lady of the Dawn. I replaced the flute and I put it back up.
Anybody remember the waiter's name? Tristan
Benjamin.
called him by name.
Benjamin. He's still creepy. He's officially creepy.
He's effective. I'll give him that. I have some stuff to learn.
You know, there is something to being nameless and faceless. And the good father may or may not have lied to us. Because we did ask him if he knew where Talbot was. And he said he had not seen him in a while. So, we out here.
But here's the question. He said we had not seen him in a while. He never defines the timeline for while.
The Contessa will also remember that the waiter was never in the bar car.
Yeah, when they were
during the time stop. It was just you two and Tristan.
Yeah. So I was like, that's what I was going through my head. It's like Benjamin wasn't there. It's okay. Fine. Next time, I'm definitely going to just yell out and say, if you want to have a conversation, you can knock and have a polite conversation like an ordinary person.
Oh, they enjoy their games.
But they're not the fun kind of games.
I don't know. You got the captain to say stuff into a mirror.
That is not as much fun as the games I'm thinking of.
That's fair.
Well, the Lady of the Dawn Who is that?
Well,
Lady of the Golden Dawn.
Golden Dawn. I'm sorry.
it's not me.
Now it's limited to sex. We don't have to be looking for a man.
And what's this Golden Dawn? Another secret society?
So they are the secret society who is into necromancy and they're one of the ones that we are primarily
Avoiding.
yes.
So we know the necromancer is a woman.
I have a very interesting question.
Ask away.
Did anybody get the Lady Maribel's last name?
Not in these notes.
We were on a first name basis, but first name only.
The Contessa just kind of looks at you and goes, well, that you only did half the job there. Fine. It's all right. As I said, she's not that good anyways. She stuck the English the whole thing. I have yet to meet the Lady Maribel. I feel that this is an oversight somehow.
That's if she's not departing the train now.
She just kind of looks out the window. Do I see any?
Let's see. From your vantage point and the angle in which you're sitting at, because you're facing forward, right?
Yeah, facing
Or-
forward towards the sleeper cars.
No, you do not see her.
If Lady Maribel had anything to do with wanting to kill the captain, she had a pristine chance.
I do not think that Talbot, no offense, Capitan, is concerned about the Capitan in this situation. I think he is more referring to the fun little artifact.
I agree. There are just some connections between necromancy and someone trying to kill the captain, even though the incidents weren't completely related.
Oh, I think it's more along the lines of separate but equal parallel paths using multiple people of the same organization, and things are just overlapping. And
Yeah.
Clint opens his watch again, looks at the portrait. Oh, these European wants just a bit more complicated. Oh, back in the New World, things are just, a bit easy. You get a mark, you go, bang, it's done. Go, get a mark, bang, it's done. This one has a layer and a train and a layer and a Maribel.
well, here's the thing: if she wanted to kill him, she wouldn't have done it the first night.
The bodyguard could have killed me in my sleep.
That would not have worked. Let me. Do you? I'm sorry. Isolina, you're not okay. And she just kind of looks around and looks at the two of you and goes, "All right, let me explain how this works. First of all, she's not going to kill you. Well, she's not going to have the bodyguard do it because it would cause a mess and it would be in her bed. Second of all, which would immediately make her a suspect. Number two, she's not going to kill you the first night unless she absolutely has to. And in that case, she would probably have poisoned you, probably somewhere public in the bar where you would have keeled over before you even made her attention. If you are good enough, she would have done it the second or third, depending on her timeline.
So what you're saying is, if we want to rule her out as a suspect, I should get with Lady Maribel again.
No, if we want to rule her out as a suspect, I would like to be introduced to her because I bet I could tell you where she's from.
I mean, if you want the fun way.
Yeah, Clint understands me.
You were just complaining about the lack of fun in this trip.
Okay, well, Clint, let me explain. Clint, can I use you as a No, I'm not going to use you as a demonstration. Capitan, can I use you as a demonstration?
What? Use me? Yeah, sure.
All right, just stand still for a moment, right? React in a normal way that you would in any woman doing what I'm about to do for you, okay?
I look left and right. Sure.
All right. She's going to walk up to you and put her hand on the side of your head.
I instinctively put my hand on hers.
Okay. She's going to bring her hand through and start to pull the ribbon that she tied your hair back with to, like, let your hair out.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, she's going to reach her hand from behind her head and pull the other pin out of her hair.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to lean in close and she's going to kiss you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I glance at the hand with the pin as I'm kissing you.
Good. That's what she wants. And she brings the ring that's on her hand right next to your throat.
The what?
The ring that's on her hand, that's in your hair next to your throat.
It's a ring. What is it supposed to do?
And she steps back. Well, if I turned it the other way, it would be very, very poisonous, and I wouldn't even have to worry about it. But you're distracted by the big pin that was in my hair.
That's probably not all.
There are 6 different ways I could kill a man if I really wanted to. 7 if I have time. 8 if I want to spend a lot of time.
When we have some more drinks, you need to tell me more about this fun you like to have.
Yeah,
It doesn't usually involve
have you
killing.
murdered?
Murdered? I have not murdered anyone.
Assassinated?
That is a very complicated question that I don't think you need the answer to at the moment.
Clint looks very intrigued.
I think I do. I think we need your knowledge in the art of assassination to try to find out who's the person going after me and how I'm most likely to die.
You're about to die? All right. Well. And then she like pulls her hair back, puts the pin back in, straightens herself, and sits back down. How involved do you want to get?
Well, for starters, if you had to assassinate someone on this train, how would you go about and do it?
I would need to know the person, the rank, where their rank is usually faster. Of what caliber individual are they? What are their current weaknesses? Are they enchanted by a pretty smile? Well, let me phrase that. Most men are enchanted by my smile. Right, Isolina?
Very true, very true. I have not seen a man yet not be.
And if they're not enchanted by the smile, well, and she adjusts the corset. They're enchanted by other things.
So your first step would be to try to know the person more.
Mm-hmm.
Which is perhaps what Lady Maribel was trying to do.
Yes.
If you'll recall, though, Lady Maribel came on to me first. And we had nothing to do with each other at that point. You and I.
That is true.
Gentlemen, I want to put this out there. You can have both work and pleasure at the same time. Also, you can multitask.
Clint looks kind of bewildered.
Work and play? What?
What? I'm all work, no play. What the hell?
Pulls out a notebook. Work and play. Tell me more.
Well, The Duke was work. A lot of work. God, was that so much work. The Count was play.
Which of the two did you assassinate?
I didn't assassinate either. I wanted so badly, but the timing wasn't right. And realistically, the political fallout of the Duke being where he was, not living would have been problematic. But he's on the list. I get to go back to him eventually.
All right. So we think that Lady Maribel might be involved with trying to kill him, but
Probably.
there's some sloppiness that doesn't seem like that is as suave. Do you think that maybe those other attempts were to try to spook him in a different direction?
I think you had multiple people and an individual who saw an opportunity that they weren't expecting.
Ooh, okay. Now, Clint wants to think about this and think about connections to try to find hits to see if there's just an open hit out on the captain. It won't be able to be manifested right now, I understand, but he wants to see if he knows anyone that he could go speak to or try to send a missive to find out if there is a bounty on the captain.
Well, the first person off the top of your head that you could think of to at least send the message to the right place might be Lady Graven.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you do know of someone, let's see, San Francisco is the last major city that you were, or the main major city you were in, correct?
I was on the eastern.
Eastern.
Yeah. So it'd probably be either New York or Boston.
Okay. In that case, you do know of at least one person that you could connect with in London that might be tapped into things, and another in, let's see, Boston and New York. Probably Paris.
Paris would be the closest. So I'd I'll be right back after this conversation had kind of happened, and Clint's just gonna get up and leave.
Okay.
Oh crap. Iselina,
Yes.
I just realized something. I have to send a small message. Actually, no, we can do that from here. I'll do that from here, and then we won't have to worry, and we won't let the good Capitan get shot at. Or stabbed. Publicly.
Publicly. Okay.
Because I did promise you, Captain, that I would let the good Colonel know that I was bothering you.
All right.
And she'll ring the bell for service.
Okay. While we're waiting for someone to show up, anything that the rest of you want to do? The other two of you, I should say, because we're going to jump to Clint in a minute.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Iselina?
Well, I am good if we are staying in here.
Okay. So, where are you headed, Clint?
Clint's gonna head towards the bar card,
Okay.
and if he sees Tristan in there, he's gonna ask if disembarkment has happened yet.
Yeah, you'll find Tristan in there, and he'll say, "Yeah, it started probably like 5 or 6 minutes ago."
Shoot. All right, I bet Lady Graven's already gone. Listen, is there a way that you could get a message out to Paris? Or you know how to send a wire from here?
Your best bet is probably at the train station. I know they have a telegraph.
We're going to be here for a while, right?
3 hours or so.
All right. I'm going to need to leave the train for a bit.
Okay.
And if my traveling companions ask, I'll be back.
Understood.
Okay.
Just as a side note, you know that you were supposed to take over Lady Graven's car. Or her.
Oh, right.
So you would still need to get a key from her.
Oh, okay.
Because she didn't give that to you.
That's fair. Okay. So, yeah, then Clint would probably go towards the sleeper cabin.
Okay. I just didn't want you to miss that connection if you wanted it.
Fair, yeah. No, if that exists, that's great then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to head to the sleeper cars.
Yep.
As you pass back by, you will note that walking behind you is a waiter, different waiter, not Ben. And as you pass through the parlor cars, the waiter stops at the private room and knocks on the door. So, Contessa, there's a knock at the door.
Just a moment. And she'll get up and again unlock the door, but stand behind the pocket as it slides.
Mm-hmm.
And is the waiter someone she's seen on the train in staff before?
Yes, from the dining car.
All right. I'm so sorry. I'm much better than this. And your name, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
It is a woman, and she introduces herself as Marie.
Marie, very good. Thank you very much. Is there a telegraph in the station? Are you aware?
Yes, ma'am.
And if I wanted to possibly have someone send a message to Paris, would it be possible to have somebody just take that over to the telegraph office for me?
I'm sure one of the conductors could do that, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, could you be there and ask one of them to come over and so I can tell them about it? So many people, I feel I'm just a little overheated. I don't want to go walking too much. I'm going to relax here.
Okay. I can do that for you.
Thank you very much, darling. I appreciate it. Your help is wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am. And she will kind of like give the little short curtsy and make her way back toward the dining car.
The Contessa would close and lock the door and then sit back down waiting for the conductor to come back because why go to the telegraph office if I can have somebody else do it for me?
Fair enough. Clint, as you are making your way through the sleeper car, you will notice that a number in the first car that you enter is the one where you know the Contessa and Iselina's car rooms are at, their cabins are at. You'll also notice that all of the doors are open except for the Contessa's, which seems to be shut and locked. And as you start to pass by, you will see Esme in the room, or in her and Iselina's room, tinkering away at something, and she'll actually like flag you down as you walk by.
Clint will stop and stop in. Hi, Esme. What'd you need?
Have you seen Iselina?
Oh, yeah. She's in the private parlor car.
Oh, okay. Excellent. I have something to show her. And she'll turn around and show you these two little like plush pouches that she made, and each one of them has a hedgehog in it.
That's adorable.
And they're hand stitched with names. Arsenio and Marcelo.
I think she will love that.
Excellent. I'll go show her right now. At which point she will leave leave you to your walking and close the door behind her and lock it and head toward the parlor car.
Nice. I'm gonna burn this car for perception, just so.
Okay.
Yep. As I'm moving through.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and take care of that. And your base perception again is
Great.
great.
Nope.
No.
Good.
Good. Okay. So that gives you 7. Lucky 7. As you're working your way through, you will notice that the other cabins in this particular car, they're the people have disembarked from. You do know that it's the next car toward the engine that Lady Graven's sleeper car or sleeper cabin is. They're all pretty well emptied out. Things are tussled a bit. Nobody really made the bed after they left. In one of them, you will see one of the staff making the bed and kind of cleaning up. As you make your way to the next car, you will notice that 2 of the doors are still shut and locked, and the other ones are open. The second one, as you enter through, is shut and locked, and then the one closest to the engine where Lady Graven is also closed and shut.
Clint will approach the door and give it a knock.
There's no response.
Clint will knock again and just say, Lady Graven?
You're not sure.
Okay.
I think maybe you heard something, but otherwise, no.
This makes Clint extremely nervous, but he's going to just try the door.
It's locked.
What strength?
It'd be physique or athletics. Either of those.
Oh. All right.
So
Clint will make it back to the other car and go talk to one of the cleaning people.
Okay. As a reminder, you could tinker it like you did before with a locked door.
All right.
That would
Okay.
be diamonds.
Yeah. Okay. But I think Clint is a bit nervous for that, I feel.
Okay.
And so he'll go and talk to the one of the cleaning people.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll try to be charming.
Oh, and you will succeed in being charming. May I help you?
Yeah, my friend was leaving me this cabin up in the front there, but I didn't seem to get the keys from her before she was able to depart the train, and the door is locked. Would you mind being a dear and opening it up for me?
Oh, I'd be happy to if I had the keys, but the conductors have the keys. They leave them open for me, and then I clean them.
Oh, all right. Do you know where the nearest conductor is?
I believe Rolf is outside at the engine talking to the engineers.
Oh, Rolf.
I'm not sure where Frederick is. He's probably in the baggage car helping people unload their bags.
All right. Well, thank you kindly for your help.
No
And
problem.
Clint will be a little bit more upset, but leave the car and start actually hurrying a bit more. He'll go up to the door and with physique try to bash it open or pull it open.
Okay. And what's your base physique?
Great.
You will. Are you trying to be careful, or are you just trying to, like, rip the door open Hulk style?
I think at first he'll try to be careful, like try to maybe jump the door if the lock will hitch that way.
Okay. Because of your knowledge of what's your base tinkering?
Base tinkering is good.
Good. Because of your knowledge of mechanical things, as well as the fact that this locking mechanism seems to be made by the same company that you and Isolina picked that lock on, and you've gotten a little better idea of how their craftsmanship is. It's quality. So the weakness isn't actually with the lock. The weakness is with the latch.
Mm.
So you can, after kind of sizing things up, you can push enough to be able to dislodge the latch just slightly, and then it opens just enough that you can leverage and pop it open.
Okay.
It doesn't break anything, but it also doesn't hang exactly right again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll have
Close
to
it
try to
and-
fix the door if I want to stay in there securely.
Yeah. Someone else would be able to pop it open the same way
Yeah.
after you've done this.
And it'd be a little bit more obvious.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, Clint does that.
Okay. Successfully, I might add.
Awesome.
And inside, we're going to go back to the parlor car before I do that review. And there will be a knock at the door again.
Yes, of course, right away.
And you'll see Tristan.
Oh,
Can I help you?
Tristan,
Mhm.
Marie sent you?
Yes, the conductors, there's only two of them while they're waiting for the replacements to arrive. She said you had a message that had to be sent.
Yes, of course. I have a small telegram to send to Paris.
Okay.
Would
Would
you
you
be
like
able,
me to drop it off?
if you would be a dear, that would be wonderful.
No problem.
And I figure by the time, like in the time frame, she had written it out.
Mhm.
And it's the Colonel. Crap, I just had that in a closed. Crap. Bertrand. Oh,
Cortot.
Cortat.
Mhm.
Colonel Bertrand Cortat at the Foreign Legion, right?
Mhm.
French Foreign Legion in Paris. And it's very, it's almost effusive for a telegram, but it's still short.
Okay.
It's like, dearest Bertrand, I'm so sorry to have missed you in Lyon. It would have been a joy to have seen you again. I'm appropriating one of your men, a Captain Jonathan von Brandt. He has promised to make my life a little bit easier in Munich. I promise to give him back in the exact same condition in which I borrowed him.
Okay.
And then she just signs it to Contessa Lucrezia Sofia Fioravanti.
And Tristan will make haste and make sure that gets done.
And she would have included a tip for both Tristan and the telegram operator.
Excellent. Anything else that the other two of you in the parlor car would like to do?
oh, go ahead, Isolina.
If you have something, go ahead. I'm still thinking.
I was gonna ask you, do you think that the killer might go after... Because I'm starting to think that they might go after my compatriots, the people that they've seen me with. Do you think Esme might be in trouble?
Honestly, I think all of us are in trouble at this point. If you're asking me if Esme is in trouble, I would hope not.
Okay. It's just, I don't know, I worry. We haven't seen her in a while.
Very true. Honestly, she's probably off working on something in our room, which I'm sure she keeps nice and closed and locked and not with an open door. But I think she should be fine. They went to go give her food, and I was not. No one returned and told me there was no one there to answer the door. So at least from there to now, he is all right.
Okay.
Though I'm assuming she would either be coming this way or I would be going that way sooner rather than later.
All right
I
then.
would just rather that Clint would return before I leave. I would not like to leave just one of us with you at any given time.
It's about then that Esme shows up, carrying two very nicely and nicely crafted and embroidered pouches, one each with a hedgehog in them.
And speak of the saint, there she is. With some very adorable pouches for Marcelo and Arsenio. Getting
Yes, do
better
you
at
like
this.
them?
I think they're absolutely brilliant as always, Esme. Look at this. See? How could you call this thing a rodent? Look how adorable it looks in this little pouch.
It is still a rodent.
It's not a rodent.
It wiggles its nose at you.
Did-
Not a rodent.
It smiles at Isolina.
Look at it. You can see the intelligence in its eyes. A rodent does not know its tail from its foot.
I have dogs. I like dogs. Large, kind, wonderful dogs that you can then send after, people that upset you.
Oddly appropriate, but oddly, what is the word? Very in your face for you, Contessa.
Well, it worked very, very. I mean, they were originally my husband's hunting dogs, but they actually like me a lot better because I'm a much nicer person. Obviously.
Clearly. You know how to charm anything, animal or person, except apparently my hedgehogs.
I'm not trying with the hedgehogs because they're rodents.
They are not rodents. Do not know what they are, but they are not rodents.
Okay.
But see, I'm sure. See, ease the Capitan's mind, Esme. Please tell him that you were in our room with a closed door, nice and locked, without anybody having the ability to come in and try and hurt you.
I was in the room, yeah, just fine. Though I did have to open it for a while because some of the chemicals I was working with were doing harm to the hedgehogs. Couldn't have them expiring.
So that door wasn't always closed and locked.
No, how else am I supposed to make combustible components with chemicals that I found on the train?
Open
I
the
don't have
window.
a proper workshop to work in. The windows don't open like that.
They don't slide down.
Not the ones in our room.
Well, okay, that's a thing. All right then.
My mind is at ease now that we see that Esme is fine.
However, mine is not at ease. We have switched positions here. Well, how about this? Next time, you need to open the door for whatever reason and leave it open. How about you then close it and come get one of us to stay with you while the door is open? These are not safe times, and I would feel much better knowing that one of us was there with you while you were distracted by your work.
I guess that's fine. I mean, if it'd make you feel better.
It would make me feel a lot better.
And there's just enough reflective surfaces that nobody could actually sneak up on me, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm working with chemicals that could basically turn someone to dust in about 18 seconds.
But the gun only takes one. So I would still feel much safer.
One, that's a really fast triggering mechanism.
I think back to all the
I'm gonna
times
have
that I
to
have
work
snuck
on
up on
this.
Esme while she was working. You know, won't bring it up, but it's in here thinking about it.
And,
Just because she knows there's reflective surfaces doesn't mean that she uses them.
and the Countess is just looking, going, "Yep, that's great." And she's sipping from the wine and looking at the captain and Isolina. "We're all fine. Everything is fine."
I look over at you, and like the face that I'm giving you is somewhere between trying to stay pleasant and trying not to be angry. Somewhere between the two.
Isolina,
Yes,
it'll be fine.
totally fine. 100% fine. No issues. No issues. Not like I've ever snuck up on her while she was
No.
working. No, absolutely not. Absolutely never.
Definitely not. I'm sure that she was entirely focused and could pay attention to multiple places and be aware of everything, including the window that's right in front of us, the door behind us, everybody walking around. Being aware of one situation is kind of important, right?
Esme, when did the when did we? How long have we been here? Would you say?
Then where? On the
At-
train? In this
No,
car?
at the stop.
At the stop? Oh. Without consulting a watch? 26, 27 minutes?
27 minutes. Okay, all right, okay. It's only 26, 27 minutes that you were there alone. Anyway, so
I mean, they're
what
not
is-
letting anyone new on yet. They're still letting people disembark.
well, letting I think is the main word on that one.
I didn't have the door open for the whole time. Just different spurts to air things out.
Absolutely, absolutely, nothing to worry. Absolutely nothing to worry. So what is Clint? Have you seen Clint? Since
Yeah,
your door was open,
he
did you
was
see him pass
headed
by?
by. That's how I found out where you were, to come show you these, show you the things I made for Arsenio and Marcelo. Yeah, he was headed toward the engine, one of the other sleeper cars, I guess. Yeah, because I don't think he'd be interested in the engine. So that's where I'd probably head. Anyway, yeah.
Very interesting. One other question, or I lose my mind. There was a very curious. Oh God, what is it called? Storage, luggage, foot locker. That we saw in a very curious. Storing something very curious, and when I checked the label, it was from. I was gonna say the name of her boss, but I don't think I know the name of her boss.
I don't know if we ever actually named him.
From your boss.
Hmm.
From your old place of work. It seemed
Yeah.
fairly new and like it was recently bought at Barcelona. And I was wondering if you remembered anybody coming in and buying this Foot Locker before you left.
Lockers. I mean, he would sell them every once in a while to people who were traveling. He'd only make a few of them, and one of the reasons people would actually buy them is because they were slightly larger, had better capacity, and a little bit lighter, mostly because they were made by someone a lot more handy than him. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, sure.
Would you happen to who was the last person you would say bought it that you remember?
I don't remember. When I went back there to tell him about us going on the trip, I noticed that he had sold another one, but I wasn't there when he sold it.
Well, that is okay. I guess that would make the chase too easy. Well, that was all I was wondering about.
No worries. So, what are we doing in here?
Well, Isolina, I think you need another drink. And she's just been pouring, and she hands you a wine glass. Captain, can I get you anything? Esme, can I get you anything, darling?
No, I think I'm fine. She'll sit down in the chair that would be across from Isolina.
I could go for some brandy.
But of course. And she reaches down and we asked for a full spread, and I'm assuming I asked for,
Sure.
you know.
You've been tipping well, so why not?
Important lesson, everyone. Pay attention to your service industry members, your secretaries, your security guards, and your janitors, and your life will be infinitely better for everything that you ever do. But now that PSA is over, she'll pour out the brandy and hand it to the captain and wink at him as she sits back down.
And as the round is poured, we'll go back to the open door, the forced door, and the scene that unfolds before Clint. Lady Graven collapsed on the floor, bleeding.
Clint will rush forward. All right. He's going to use perception here. I'm hoping that the high play will allow him to perceive a lot of different things.
Okay. Base perception is good, correct?
Correct.
So that's a 21. Okay.
So first he wants to see if she has signs of life.
The body is not cold, but you do not perceive any breathing or pulse.
All right. Without doing too much effort or work, can Clint tell where the wound is?
As you pull back her hair, you'll notice that she's bleeding from her eyes, and her throat has been cut.
Yeah, there's no saving that. All right. So Clint will step back and pull the cord for the conductor, and he'll pull it vigorously and often.
Okay. And on that note, as the bell rings out throughout the train, panicked in a little bit, or frantic, I should say, we're going to take our break. We'll be back.
All right, everyone, stick around. We'll be back within 5 to 8 minutes. We're back. We are back. Where were we?
We were just finishing up our plans for what to do in Geneva, discussing all the ways the people have tried to kill and could kill and might kill Captain von Brandt. And we ended with Clint going to the room of Lady Graven, who had assisted earlier, having to force the door open to find her dead on the floor. Recently dead. Clint, you pulled the bell multiple times. You'll also notice out of the corner of your eye, her watch is near her extended hand.
Clint quickly goes down and grabs it.
Okay.
And puts it into one of his pockets.
Okay. It is open when on the ground.
What does it look like to Clint? Like, does it have an aura to it at all?
Yeah, you actually read it because it's covered with a very dark aura.
Right. Oh, okay. Is it similar to the necromantic aura
that you saw earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you touch it, though, something strange happens. It burns away.
The aura?
The aura.
All right.
Like fire burns away. A fire that you remember very distinctly.
Clint.
And then,
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
And then the watch looks pristine.
Clint doesn't sweat very often, but he's starting to glisten a little bit. And he puts the watch into his pocket before anyone enters the room.
Okay.
He goes outside the door and waits. If Lady Graven's eyes were open, he would close them, and I think he would take a sheet from the bed and put it over her.
Okay. They were open. They were bleeding from them, not because they were punctured or anything, but I don't know, think of like horror films when people like spontaneously bleed from their eyes, that kind of thing. So
that's where I wound up with it. Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that you didn't think when you were closing them you were touching anything gross.
I mean,
it's already a dead body, but I'm trying not to go high on the gore factor, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough.
Creepy, bloody, not super gory. Anyway, about then, the Rolf and the engineers are the first ones to make it in.
She's lying there. I knew her. She was gonna give me the cabin for the next leg of the journey. I don't know how this happened.
Would you want to play a card?
Charisma.
Okay. And Ralph will kind of like stare down at the sheet and look over at you and say, is she... Oh, no. Oh, I'm very sorry. Did you know her well?
I worked with her. I didn't know her that well, but we were on good terms. It should not have ended this way.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I am too. Thank you.
I will fetch the priest, and he'll turn to the engineers and say, make sure nobody comes in the room. And one of them will say, I have to go tend to the engine. And he'll kind of take off. And the other one will be like, that's fine, whatever. And just kind of like stand there next to you.
If you would, I'll be on the train. I'm not going to leave. But I need to go meet with the rest of my traveling companions. If you need me for any questioning, I'll be here.
Okay. I mean, like the engineer's not security or anything. He'll just kind of look at you and go, oh, okay.
Clint kind of actually takes that in for a second. I was like, fucking lack security. And then just kind of like turns around and is actually kind of mad.
Mm-hmm.
It should be more difficult than this. And he walks off. Clint's mad for a couple of reasons. One, that she died. First and foremost, that she died.
Mm-hmm.
Two, that his contract is probably in jeopardy. And
Okay.
And three, that any sort of security or protection is basically on us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Clint turns around and he's mad. He's gonna storm off.
Okay. Where to?
Back down towards the parlor car.
All right. So you storm off to the parlor car. It's locked. Not the car. The private room.
The private room. And Clint will knock on the door.
Yes, what is it?
I need in.
All right, I'm coming. And she'll get up and open the door, and still standing behind the pocket as she does.
Clint wasn't careful. I'm sure he has blood on him. And
Yeah.
he'll come in the door.
Well, that's a mess.
What
Well,
happened?
come on in.
Lady Grovin's gone.
I'm assuming that you didn't.
No, of course not. I trusted her. Well, as much as I trust anyone give me a contract, but she was helpful.
She was.
Actually, I think I kind of liked her.
Oh, then I am sorry for your loss.
Thank you. But we're in trouble.
How come?
She was behind a locked door.
How did she die?
Well, there was a magical component to it, much like the kind of dark, shadowy. Well, did you see it in the luggage car?
The Contessa saw some of it, not the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. So in he'll be like the watch, and he'll pull the watch out. It was kind of like that, and there was that component, but also there was a mortal wound. Her throat was slashed.
Well, all right then. Does anyone have any strong objection? Any of you have any major religious objections to what I'm about to sort of thing I'm about to do? Anybody here really Jewish or Islamic or really going to hate me if I go, okay, good. She's going to close the door, and then she's going to reach into her reticule, and like every good Italian woman ever, she has around her wrist, she has a small decade of the rosary, and in her reticule, she has a small vial of holy water, because you never know, you might need it. and she's going to drop it. She's going to put drops of holy water on the door handle, along the threshold, and along the window.
Okay.
And then she's going to take the rosary off and wrap it around the door handle.
I appreciate what you're doing.
I don't think this is any magic of any sort.
Well, here's the kicker here. If this kind of magic gets behind locked doors, how secure is secure for you, Contessa?
There is no such thing. We're all going to die eventually, and hopefully all go to heaven. But this at least will help us a little bit.
You know,
I don't have a cross to put above the door, but I've got everything else.
well, I appreciate this context. I mean, for the artifact.
Well, the artifact I secured, and the Monsignor secured as well.
If
But
the father was sticking around, he's also going to go tend to the remains.
Well, then hopefully she won't get up and walk around. So there's that.
I have a feeling if she was going to get up and walk around, we would have already seen her.
You know.
But
So our good necromancer is still on board.
Probably.
I wonder if Lady Maribel's still on board.
I really do want to meet her.
I mean, are we going to continue inviting people to our parlor?
I can go
Well,
talk to her.
Clint, because there isn't a seat right now with Esme in there, you're kind of, I'm assuming you're like standing in front of the door.
Clint is even like, if there's enough place, like he's probably even vibrating a little bit. He's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So like he'd be pacing if he could. Like if there's any space, Clint's probably just in it.
There's not a lot of space for that, for pacing.
So
But-
he'd be fidgety and like
Mhm.
arms moving a bit. Like he'd be clicking open. I think actually he'd be clicking open and closing the Lady Groffin's watch
Okay.
at this point.
I imagine that you're facing toward the window in the
Yep.
way things are set up. And you will actually see Lady Maribel outside through the window.
There she is.
Oh, which one? Which one? Point her out. What's she wearing?
You'll see that she's dressed in all black. She turns and looks in the window. She smiles and winks.
Does the Contessa recognize her?
No, the Contessa does not recognize her.
Do the windows open?
This window does.
Clint pulls his gun in.
Okay.
Clint doesn't have good cards for this, but he's going to do it anyway.
Fire a
He's-
gun in a locked room and go ahead.
Yeah, no, Clint, at the wink, Clint will make towards the window if he has to bound over everybody.
Okay.
And he's going to pull his spell slinger gun,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to fire that off at her.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Clint? How fast does he react?
Clint is a coiled spring at this point,
Mm.
and that wink was a snap.
I mean, theoretically, the Contessa and the captain are between
Yeah.
Clint in the window.
So if y'all want to restrain him, you can.
The Contessa would turn her back.
Because you went to look out the window, right?
Yeah, she's standing at the window, and she's going to try and just shoulder check Clint as he comes over. because assuming that he has to get to the window and open to do it, to just more to knock the gun out of alignment than to actually stop him and open the window and just kind of lean out and say, "Oh, you haven't been introduced, and you are."
She's too far for a conversation,
Aw.
so you wouldn't be able to do that.
Then she wouldn't. Then she wouldn't do that. But she would just shoulder check the gun.
Okay. Captain, is there anything that you want to do?
Simon would like to know how it unfolds. Simon doesn't know if the captain would react fast enough because this is something that even I didn't see coming. So I think the captain would not react fast enough.
Okay.
I think the Contessa is just reacting to the fast movement and doesn't want to draw attention. So she's just going to shoulder check the gun. More to knock it off alignment than to do anything else.
Okay. What cards do you want to play?
All right.
I am just going to be sitting there sipping wine.
I mean, if this is as best as she can do with the athletic, of assuming that to trying to shoulder check has to be in athletics at this point, or
Yeah,
Probably.
for most likely for the Contessa.
yeah. So it's going to be come on, that.
Okay. And for Clint.
Okay. Clint will be using physique, I guess, to try to make it to the window.
Okay.
So he has great physique. We'll play that.
And what is the Contessa's athletics?
Average. Yeah, you're going to win this one.
Okay, so it's a partial success. You will notice though that like you won't be able to open the window in a smooth movement.
Okay.
So your option is like you can shoulder your way through, but you're going to have to take time to open the window.
Ooh. Would he do it? Yeah, I think he would. I honestly think he would.
Otherwise,
shoot through
he'd
the window.
endanger everyone in the room.
Oh, if
Don't-
he shot through the window, he'd endanger everybody?
Yeah.
Ah. Oh.
We're in an echo chamber.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
And you are enough of a marksman that you would understand
Yeah.
the repercussions if you did not get the gun out of the room before
Okay.
you pull the trigger.
Okay. So yeah, he would take the extra time to open the window.
Okay. Now to set the full scene, this is not an empty place.
Yeah, no, I know.
There are people here. There are wagons with goods that are being loaded. There is movement. It's not standing still. She is toward the back of the group. So there are people between you. You will need to play a card.
Okay.
To get your shot off. Okay.
So great marksmanship with that.
Okay. And as you run towards, she's going to move to try and break line of sight. Great marksmanship, so 13. It's a tie, so that's a partial success on your part with this opposed roll or opposed check. Yes, Simon.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is she moving in a way that betrays the fact that she was expecting a violent response?
No, she's reacting,
Okay.
seeing him move toward the window, and this seems like a flight response.
Okay.
After the shots fired, do you think Clint would notice that?
We'll see.
Okay.
Based on what happens when the shot is fired. So let's talk about that. This is the first time you've pulled your spell gun,
Yeah.
and the first time that this has come into play.
I
So
had
for the
better-
audience, let's make sure that we kind of set this scene. So in the West, the Wild West of the Americas in Castle Falkenstein, there are spell guns and spell slingers that wield these guns. And they use them as their casting focus. They're not quite the same as a mage, as what we saw in season 1 with Oberon or with Lady Graven or the Necromancer. But they are magical nonetheless. They have no bullets that they fire. They channel through them magical energy. Pull a card for me from your spell deck.
It's just shuffling a bit. I'll shuffle a couple more times.
No problem.
All right. And I think I have to make a 6 or better on it.
6 or better. That's for creating it as a focus.
Oh, okay.
Or is it channel power? Is it 12?
Oof, okay. Black Joker.
Nice. What kind of power does Clint channel? What does it look like when that magic bullet?
I think the gun around the barrel starts glowing red, and this is the first time that you see any sort of power emanating from Clint at all. Some reds, like fiery smoke type, starts wisping up from his eyes, and you see kind of hues of it going down his face and through his gun arm before he pulls the trigger. At the hammer click, it all rushes forward through.
I kind of imagine that as it coalesces into the gun, it kind of lights up the chambers, and the chamber spins.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all kind of like coalesces on the one that's inside the barrel. And you see the light kind of emanating from the end of the barrel as that energy fires out.
Mm-hmm.
How is Clint feeling in this moment as that
Angry.
hammer comes down?
Full of rage.
This is quite the spectacle. And as the others are going to note, even though it does happen quickly, the crowd disperses. A gun came out. That's not as common here as it might be in the Wild West. And so people are a little bit more attentive to it, and flight response is pretty quick. As the sea of people starts to part, you'll notice that Lady Graven is moving to duck behind a cart.
Lady Maribel.
Lady Maribel. My bad. Lady Maribel goes to duck behind a cart with a bunch of barrels on it. As this fiery projectile explodes forth with this long tail streaking from the gun, making it look almost as though the bullet has elongated to nearly a foot before it leaves the edge of the barrel. And then that tail shrinks up on the bullet and flies toward Lady Maribel. And it expands. It goes from the size of a bullet to the size of a golf ball. And it crosses 3/4 of the distance. It's about the size of a baseball. And as it lands, impacting at the edge of where she turned the corner, there's a fiery blaze that erupts and engulfs almost all of the cart, singeing the roof of the train station, the awning and edge of it, and wrapping around the cart. What do you do?
Are you mad? We don't even know if she was indeed the killer.
That's not the point right now. Damage control, darling. Damage control. Always damage control. And she's going to get up to the window where Clint is and kind of shoulder check him out of the way, assuming that he'll kind of move now that he's...
Clint didn't move his gun. He's waiting. So if you do want to shoulder check him, that's fine. I think he's not seething anymore.
Yeah.
And some of the anger has dissipated through the shot.
She'll just kind of reach her hand out and kind of push the gun down and slightly out of view from most people. And she's going to use her charisma, which is great, and play this to she was getting away. She left the body on the cart. Didn't you see the dress that she stole? And kind of play up that this was entirely what was supposed to happen because Lady Maribel killed somebody and was trying to get away.
Okay.
Whether that's true or not.
She stole your look.
Did. She did. And the Contessa's like, wait, is that my dress? No, I look better. I have a better dress than she does. I look better. I do. She may think she does it, but I do it better. And she doesn't, for her, the question isn't about whether or not Maribel actually killed Lady Graven or not anymore. It's about damage control and crowd control and controlling the story.
Fair enough. Isolina, what do you do?
Nothing I can do. Except sit there, drink wine, and just watch it all happen. I mean, the door is locked. It's not like anyone's going to be coming in.
Okay. Are you trying to get a better look, or are you just staying seated where you don't really... At this point, you can't really see what's going on anymore because there's people standing in front of the window, and the angle would be wrong because she would have turned to your left, which would have been back in a way where the wall would have obscured your vision.
No, I can't see.
Okay.
Like you said, the window's full. Can't really do anything.
Okay.
Except just watch the reactions of everyone. I'll probably be watching Clint more closely.
Okay.
While also taking note of what, the Contessa is doing because, Isolina is always learning. And just seeing, because I don't know, Clint is still a variable that I don't understand. And I'd like to understand a little bit better. Especially now learning that he has a cool gun that somehow shoots fire. Like, that's dope as fuck. Where was Oberon with his dope fire gun?
Poor Oberon.
I could cast lightning bolt. Come on.
Wait, let me open this lock. Hold on.
Let me use magnets to pull apart a machine and then drop all the pieces.
He
That
was
cool, though.
refined in his magic.
Yeah,
Quite the dapper gentleman.
Clint is literally a loose cannon.
Well, I see that now.
I mean, he's been nonplussed before. Now he's very plussed.
Extremely plus. So yeah, I'm
Much
just gonna
plus.
I'm just gonna sit there
Plus squared.
paying attention to Clint and seeing which gun he pulled from which pouch. Which I don't. They're not called pouches. Gun
Yeah.
thing.
Holster.
A holster. There you
Mhm.
go. And
You would have
And seeing-
noticed.
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you would have noticed with that, correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, but Clint keeps the other gun, the one more visible, and this one he keeps like under his coat for most of it.
Yep.
So it's on the opposite hip of the one that he leaves for people to look at.
Yeah.
So-
Clint would cross pull for it.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm paying attention to that while also and just making sure that I'm listening for the door or when and if somebody knocks on it. Oh yeah, and just seeing any difference in Clint. Because again, I know Clint is like Faye, but like what is Clint? I don't know. I kind of want to know, but I'm not gonna ask. And if this gives me any clues, I will look for them.
Well, you can right off the bat assume that he's magical of some sort, and that's kind of a given. Nothing like Oberon whatsoever. Other clues than that, I don't know that there were any that would have made you think anything other than the other types of magic that you've witnessed when it's been visible for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time it's been this palpable, though, since the time when, like, you were in the basement of the manor house and, like, the sound went away and all of those kinds of things where it was actually affecting you physically. You all in that room felt the heat off that gun. It wasn't hot like it made you sweat, but you definitely felt it. So it's that kind of magic. It's a powerful magic of some sort.
Which is dope. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just paying attention to Clint and my compatriots' reactions, including the Capitan's, although I'm sure his is a little less interesting than the other two companions, at this moment at least.
Speaking of the captain, other than your exclamation, questioning the sanity of our gunslinger, what are you doing?
I am rushing out of the train.
Okay.
Ow.
Well, I'll open the door.
Who has the key?
You don't need a key to open it from the inside, I gather.
It's a skeleton lock, yeah.
Then I will bash through the door.
Fair enough. These doors are not meant to be super secure, so opening them is not that difficult.
Okay.
They're just private, like, sitting rooms. The sleeper cars are the ones that they put more of the effort and energy into. What is your base? I'm assuming you're using athletics.
Athletics, yeah. It's good.
It's good. Would you like to play a card?
Yes. I'm going to
Okay.
play this one.
Okay, with a 6, that's a 12. That would give you a success. And so you have enough points there that you could basically force it open without totally having to destroy it, or you can just push through it.
No, if I could open it without destroying it, like, that's better.
Yeah.
If
you're
I'm
just
able to do it quickly.
You basically have to shove it off of its rails and then slam it into the wall because it's a pocket door. So you'd be using your strength to basically dislodge it from the way it would normally be sitting, and then forcing it into the pocket.
and then I would rush out of the train onto the platform.
Okay.
I want to get where Lady Maribel was.
Okay. As you're running that direction, you'll notice, because you're out there, the Contessa will notice because of where your vantage point is and you're surveilling what's going on. Clint, how perceptive are you being at this point versus how are you just like coping?
Ugh. Well, okay. I'll play a card for it,
Okay.
just to play it, but I think that his anger is taken over mostly. So I think that he's too angry to be that perceptive, but he is looking out for any sign or movement.
Okay. So you're kind of focused on the cart and whether or not Lady Maribel is moving that direction, or in that vicinity. And Von Brandt's running out. You're going to notice that there are police on the scene running towards them. But you'll notice that like most of them, outside of the two that are running toward the cart, one from two different directions, there are two of them that have been stopped by Tristan. That's what Von Brandt and the Contessa will see. Because you're closer running out there, Captain, you will hear him say a few words, one of which is a bomb. It just went off. And the other thing that you'll catch him say, I don't know. I don't know who set it off.
I'll keep running to where Lady Maribel was, but
Okay.
I'll keep that in mind.
If the Contessa saw, I'm assuming she may not have noticed, she may have heard but didn't pay attention when the door broke, but she can see the captain now.
Yep.
She would turn to Isolina and say, like, this one is your problem. I'll deal with that one. Honestly, men can never follow directions, ever. And run after the captain.
Okay. Isolina, what do you do?
Well, now I have to stand up. I place down my wine glass. And I'll stand up and I'll be like, oh man, okay. And I'll walk over to the window and I'll see what the commotion that has happened outside.
Mm-hmm.
And get a closer look at Clint now that he is next to me.
Okay.
And see where his, like on a scale of 1 being like he's had many, many whiskeys and he is feeling very good. And 10 being I am actively murdering someone. That is how angry I am. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Would you say?
I would say after firing the weapon, he's at about maybe a 9, 8.5.
So not actively murdering someone, but
not actively doing it. No.
Like wanting to.
Wanting to, yeah. At the time he's firing the weapon, it was at like a 12.
That is better. You know, that is valid. You're valid.
Thank you for validating my anger. It really helps.
I take a look at the giant bomb that looks like it happened outside, the giant fire. And I'm assuming that, and I track the damage, and I try and trace that to see where Maribel is. And also, like out of the corner of my eye, I take an eye out as to what Clint is doing with his gun.
Okay.
And his tracking.
Are you going to play any cards? Because you're trying to track a lot of things at once. And I know that you have exceptional perception.
Which one is that? Is that the diamond or the heart?
Diamonds.
Well, this is all I have, so we shall do that.
Okay. That's a 15, so that's very good. You'll catch the sight not of Lady Maribel, but of a very large gentleman in a top hat that's behind the cart and around the side of one of the buildings. And it looks like he's talking to someone. You can't see from this angle, but in between the movements of people and things, you think the person that he's talking to is in a dress because they're wider at the bottom than they are at the top. And dresses have a tendency to poof out. You'll also notice that there, from the angles that you're seeing, there's no body. There's nothing laying there. And it's about that time that the captain will get around the cart and notice that there's a huge scorch mark, but there's no body.
But she was there a moment ago.
She was there moments ago, yes.
I frantically look around.
Okay. Are you going to play a card in all of the chaos that's going
on? Perception. My perception is average.
Mm-hmm.
Perception is diamonds, is it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll go for 6.
Okay. So that gives you a 10. You don't see her anywhere, but you do catch the very edge of a very large person in a suit and top hat that reminds you a little bit of what's his name? It's not every day you wake up to some big burly dude staring at you while you sleep. Who was that again?
The name of the bodyguard?
Could be, yeah.
I don't know, I would have completely forgotten about his name, but I would not forget about the person staring at me as I'm sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I'll rush in his direction.
Okay. As the Contessa is exiting post-haste in a full-blown dress, I'm assuming that you're trying to make sure you don't rip or tear anything, yes?
Yes, but no. She's really pissed right now at the captain and at Clint and at men in general.
Okay.
So she's kind of running thing in her head, and she's like, I don't usually do this, but if I'm ripping this dress, I'm going to charge them. And if I can't get it out of Clint or the captain, I know the colonel will pay for it, and I'm going to charge him double. And
fair enough.
So she's like, I care, but I don't. And she's looking actively for anyone tracking the captain.
No one seems to be tracking the captain and everything that's going on in the crowd on this level. If you wanted to turn and check the train as you're running, you're going to have to slow your pace.
She's not going to slow her pace, but she's just going to keep looking everywhere. And I mean, there's a reason she said to stay with her in public and make a scene in public, because she knows how to work that and how to work that space.
This is quite a big scene in public.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the kind the Contessa wanted.
No, it's not. It's not at all. But she's going to try and catch up to the captain before he can do anything stupid, like get off the platform or behind a wall or do anything where someone else could be behind. Okay.
He's already made it to the cart as you're coming off and crossing the platform. Do you want to play athletics to try and catch him?
Oh yeah, she gonna catch him.
Okay.
She's gonna haul and make it look like.
You'll see you'll cross the distance and you'll speed up as he pauses to look behind the cart. He does show a little bit of discretion and caution. Yes, Captain?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he looks around, and then he goes to take off again as you get within 3-4 feet of him.
She will literally reach out and grab him if she can.
Okay. Captain. Athletics.
Yes.
And what's your base athletics?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
He's just barely out of reach. That's pretty close. It's within 3 points. But he's out of your grasp as he takes off again.
Does she see anyone who looks like a cop or looks...
Yeah, there's 2 of them
Authority.
that are like at the cart as you guys go running by. There's also 2 of them that you saw before that Tristan had, I guess, detained with an eyewitness account over at the, basically the part of the platform where there's the telegraph office. So it's further away in the opposite direction of where the captain is running toward. So the captain's running left. Tristan is to your right.
She's gonna glance at Tristan for a moment and think, God, this would be so much easier if I could do this the right way, but that dumb son of a bitch is gonna get himself killed. And I need him to not be dead at the moment.
I'm fine.
And so she'll just haul after him.
Okay.
And she'll do it running, but she'll flare the skirt out as she does to say, get the fuck out of my way.
Okay.
Like, using it as kind of like a crowd control.
Okay. Clint, what are you doing in the midst of all this chaos?
So, if he sees Von Brandt make it to the cart and then book it for somewhere else, he's going to track where he's running.
Okay. From your angle, you'll see that he's running towards what is the back of a very large, burly fellow in a suit and top hat.
Fantastic. So that's with a good perception.
Mm-hmm.
And so Isolina would, if she has her excellent or whatever it is perception, she'll notice that the gun is tracking.
As soon as I notice that, I am, I'm going to clock where was the contestant going again? Towards Von Brandt or Tristan?
Von Brandt.
Von Brandt.
Okay. I am going to look for the closest person that looks like Maribel. And that's on the opposite side. And I'm going to make a very dramatic, like, is that her? A sound?
Okay.
Over and not where Von Brandt is.
Okay.
Like a wait, is that her? Like, I don't know what I would say, but something along those lines.
So that's basically a performance.
Sure.
Uh,
Hold on. I don't remember what Roll20 is. I found it.
Yeah.
Performance is what?
Hearts.
Hearts?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it was going to be the card I was going to throw away anyways. And if anyone wants me to do anything physical, like, I got you. Can I just do that and then just straight up just like accidentally elbow Kenny or Clint as I'm turning and be like, is that them?
When you said clock, I thought you meant you were actually going to like clock. Oh. In which case I'm like, he kind of deserves it.
Well, I do like that better. So let's go ahead and as part of it, go ahead and play the physical to make contact with his gun arm as you point toward where you are trying to distract his eye.
That is not the not spade black one, right?
Yes, the clubs. Okay. Clint, what's your base physique again?
Base physique is great.
Great. Do you want to oppose it, or are you going to roll with it?
I think Clint is not expecting it, so he'll be rolling with it. Although, let's burn a card because he's steadying his gun.
Okay. So you keep the gun steady, but the arm does move, and your eyes are going to flick to where she's pointing. Just long enough that it slows you down a little bit. It's not going to be enough to like totally push you out of the way, but you'll have to like reassess again. Does that make sense?
I think as soon as Iselina starts interfering, Clint will be like, "What are you doing? She's trying to get away."
What are you doing? We're trying to keep the Capitan safe.
What do you mean? Oh wait, no, he was tracking the captain. Never mind. Like he'll be like, "Oh shit," and he'll holster his gun and be like, "Well,
he's out there now. Just keep a low profile and a cooler head, please."
All right, I get you. And Clint will shift to start clocking the crowd.
Okay.
If I mention, if I mention I'm wearing my military uniform, and it's got the on my jacket on the back, it's got the symbol of my regiment.
And in big bold letters, von Brandt.
Yeah, but the symbol is these concentric circles that are marked red and white.
Isn't it great that the very well, no, she's not that large. She's only 5'3".
We just out here.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, as you head toward the large burly gentleman, and Clint, your attention starts to scan the crowd again, you will come face to face with Herschel as he turns around and just steps like right in front of the captain. As Herschel does that, Iselina and Clint, you'll notice that Iselina, you'll notice that whomever he was talking to is not there. Both of you will see a carriage door close and the carriage pulls away from the station. Pretty quickly. With the jack that you played, Clint would also see some glints of metal at the neck of Herschel. And as you kind of focus in for a second, you think you see sutures.
Boy, I wish I had better cards. Okay. Clint will turn to Iselina and say, "I think he's not alive. That big man."
Which one? And I look over, but now back to where Von Brandt is, and this big burly man in front of him, and this oddly target-looking symbol on his back. I try and I take a closer look at Herschel.
Are you going to play a card?
Yeah, sure, why not? It just came into my thing.
Ooh.
You will notice that Herschel's, so the light seems to hit just right. One of the overhead lights, it's the wind kind of, moves it a little bit and it swings back and forth. And as it cascades down on Herschel, you'll notice that his eyes have no pupils. They are completely that murky blue that you see sometimes with people who have cataracts or have gone blind. You'll also see a number of places on his skin, around one of his wrists, because the suit doesn't quite fit. That he has closures, stitching.
I cannot wait to bring this up to the Capitan. Who is
And
literally face to face
Captain
with-
von Brandt. That's a great point. What about the captain? Would you prefer to dodge or absorb the fist that is coming in your direction?
Dodge.
It's clubs either way, but the movement is yours.
Dodge.
Okay.
Or actually, no, my if I
'Cause
absorb it, that would be my physique, right?
Your physique is to try and, yeah, if he can't beat the number that you have, you won't take any wounds.
Then I will absorb it.
Okay.
I will take that fist to my face.
Well, he's zeroing on your chest.
Oh, well, to my chest. So I got a great physique and a 4.
Okay. So that's a 8 plus 4, so that's a 12. And he's only has a card to burn for an extra point. And he does make impact. You feel it. He's very, very strong. But, I mean, you're a pilot. You had to learn how to crash. And so you know how to brace for impact. And as the energy kind of ripples through you, it is now your turn.
Do I see his neck?
You will notice, yes, at this distance, he is some sort of Frankensteinian monster.
I behead
You know.
him. With one swoop of my sword as I draw it, I will behead the monster.
As you go to swing your sword at the monster, he will try and move out of the way. In fact, he'll just try and block your swing.
Mhm.
However, so that gives him an 11. And what is your fencing?
Fencing is good.
Good. So 6, that's 21. Would you like to burn any of your deuces wild? You have 2 of them.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure. I'll take a +2.
Or do you also have the plus? You also have the +7 from the lucky 7. Either of those.
I'll burn the +7 then.
Okay. So that would give you a 28, which is over a full success, not quite a high success, which is the highest that you can get to. If you're going for fully dramatic, you could burn all your points and you will reach a high success, doing the math in my head. No, not all of them. 1 more point. You're 1 point shy.
So I would have 1 deuces wild left.
You'd have 1 deuces wild left.
Why not? I've never had a high success.
Okay. You will literally swing faster than he can raise to block your sword arm. And it does impact on the hilt, or not, yeah, the guard, cross guard. And you brush it off. It does not even impede as you swing right through his neck, beheading him. It falls to the ground and rolls. Top hat tumbles. to the opposite side. And the body slumps, thud, to the knees, and then starts to fall forward toward you.
May I... My goal was to run after Lady Maribel. He was just in the way and he punched me. Do I see the carriage driving away?
You would see it. You would see it. Yes, it's moving at this point, but you would see it.
Would I have enough time to run up to it?
No. You wouldn't be able to catch it because the horses have already made stride.
Okay. Is there another carriage nearby?
That's a good question. Let me see what I find. But first, we need to have cards again. So I need to get you new cards and myself new cards. And then... No, there's not a carriage nor horses nearby. I got a spade. Spades is no, hearts is yes.
Ah, damn it. Then I remain where I am. I'll just sidestep to let the body fall to the floor.
Okay.
Is there any ichor that comes out of it? Like liquid? Something?
Yeah, you'll notice that oozing out of it, not spurting or spraying, but oozing out of it, is this dark green, almost black ichor.
Ew. I'll turn to try to flag one of the policemen, and I figure I see the Contessa as I do
Oh,
this.
she's like right on your heels.
Oh.
As you swung, I'm assuming you were deft enough to not get into the backswing.
Oh, she would have dodged out of the way of that, waited until the body fell, waited for him to turn a look around, and then just full on slapped him across the face.
Hello to you too.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. She's running away. Clint was right.
No shit, Sherlock. Where is he? At that, she just kind of looks around and goes, fine. With her sorcery, what it is, does she think that this remains can get up, or is it going to stay down currently?
With a good, you're not sure. Doesn't look like it can get up.
It's diamonds, right?
Yep.
If she plays that 8, what does she think?
You're pretty sure it's staying down.
Okay.
It would have to be reconnected. One of the things that you will have noticed is that there's like electricity off those metal pieces on his neck. They're kind of sparking and they fizzle as you're kind of looking it over. And as they fizzle out, the eyes close. And you're pretty sure it'll take some work to get it up again.
I don't like this. I don't like this. So aside, and is the captain still there? As she look, or has he walked off?
Captain?
I'm still there. I mean, we have to go after her.
Yes, but do you know where she's going, who she is, or what her name is?
Her name is Maribel.
Is it?
Well, not necessarily, but the longer we stay here arguing, the more...
Fine. But where's officer? Officer.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, there's 2 officers that are being walked over by Tristan.
Oh, good. She's going to walk. She's going to say, "Can you not stab anyone or run away for the next 20 seconds as I try and save this giant cluster?
I'll go
fuck?
get Isolina and Clint.
No, how about you stay right next to me? And she like literally links her arm through yours. It's like, nope.
And on the message of Isolina and Clint,
So I'm really glad he took decisive action there, because had he not, Clint would have pulled out his other gun and shot it into the air to get their attention.
fair enough. As you had to kind of like retrack again from the bumping and your chastising of Isolina, you see this play out. And so, yeah, the big gentleman thing falls.
That's
It's
one.
kind of impressive.
So still a miracle that man is still alive in any way, shape, or form.
Well, we should probably get out there. Esme, can you hold the room?
As you turn around, you notice that Esme is not there.
Son of a bitch.
All right. I hate to leave you in a lurch, but do you want to go after Esme?
Oh, fuck me.
Isolina, you'll notice that Esme is out at the cart talking to the two policemen.
Why? Oh, this woman is going to be the death of me. Let us go. It looks like she's already ahead of us.
All right. Well, yeah, let's go. We waste enough time right here. And yeah, Clint will book it off the train.
Same. I will stop near my wife.
As you catch up to Esme, you will, or as you're approaching, you will overhear her saying to them, "Yes, officers, I totally saw the whole thing. I don't know how or why she planted that bomb and set it off. It must have been accidental. You see, I'm an engineer from Barcelona." And she just goes on and on and on in a very, very convincing manner. And the two gentlemen are just standing there kind of looking at her, dumbfounded, but nodding. And they seem to be like very cordial. And they say, well, thank you, miss. That's very good to know." And she starts pointing out different parts of the bomb to them. You think she planted bomb parts because they look very familiar to the things that were from the incendiary device that opened the safe room.
See, this is, and I'll look over to Clint, who is probably not paying attention even a little bit, but I'll be like, "See, this is why I love this woman."
Clint takes notice, but yeah, Clint is like, we'll kind of reach back, and like we'll try to be moving forward, being like, it appears she has it. Let's go.
I will also be looking out for any sort of carriage or movement anywhere near.
Okay. By carriage, do you mean the one that you saw that took off, or are you talking about
something to follow them?
Okay,
is what I'm looking for.
Okay. As you're scanning, we're gonna move over to the Contessa and the conversation she's having with the police.
The Contessa is very good at a lot of things, one of which is detail-oriented knowledge and knowing exactly how to describe someone. So she's going to walk up to the cops and say, "Officers, did you see? I don't know who that woman was, but she planted the bomb and then she left this abomination to try and derail the good officers. What is going on?" And she's going to describe Maribel in detail. And she's going to say, "Who was that woman? Do you know?" And play that ace for her charisma to make it very, very convincing.
Okay. They they're listening, and they're kind of taking it all in, and they kind of look at Tristan, and they look back at you. Well, that's very similar to what this gentleman had mentioned from over there.
Yes, she was hiding behind the cart, and she was wearing, honestly, and then it was a very bad version of a black on black dress. I mean, I know black. I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. Hello, I'm the Contessa Lucrezia Sofia Fioravanti. Officer, you are?
Officer Reginald.
Oh, very nice to meet you, Reginald. I'm very glad that you're here and doing a fabulous job. I understand how Geneva is such a big city and you have a lot of work to do, but I was watching because I was clocking her dress, and realistically speaking, I tell you, Captain, that her dress was not as good looking as it was on, I have a much better look on the dress, and it was much better on the version than mine. But didn't I tell you that, Captain? Yes, of course. But then I saw her lean over under the cart and kind of look around. She was very sketchy looking. I'm like, why is she bending over? She didn't drop anything. She isn't doing anything. She's just bending over. And that was very odd. And then she left her bag. And I was like, well, that's a very large bag. It doesn't go with that dress at all. And I said that to the captain. Didn't I tell you, Captain, that bag didn't go with that dress?
Okay, get to the point.
But, why are you saying that, honestly? And then she left the bag, and then I saw her turn away, and then there was this big explosion, and I didn't even know what had happened. And then the captain, I noticed right away, and he is very good at his job. And he was like, that woman had left a bomb. And so I said, oh, well, then you should definitely go after her. And then I was coming to make sure that he was okay. And then he came out, and then there was this very large gentleman that came, was defending her, and there was just a whole big mess. And then there was that thing isn't bleeding. I don't know what that is, but that's not blood. And I mean, like, I've seen a lot of blood, and unfortunately my late husband had died, God bless his soul. And there have been a lot of other people that I have seen, whatever. But that's not blood. That's not normal, is it?
No, that's not natural.
That person was probably what you call them, a necromancer. There has been an attempt on my life on the train as we were coming down here. We think she's up to no good. Have you ever seen someone with her description?
No, not in these parts. Would you like to fill out a report about the attempt on your life, sir?
You know what? Maybe later.
Do you know any? So then, of course, you're a captain, officer. I know that you are very, very busy and you're aware of lots of things. But she just got in that carriage right over there, and it went over that way. Do you know what's over there? What is the nearest place that she could end up?
Geneva's a large city. Could be many places. I mean, do you know how far she's going?
No,
if she
of course
stays
not.
in this district, there's all sorts of places she could go. If she's leaving the city, she could be...
Well, you might
out
want
of
to let
town.
your superiors know, because if she was getting around in the city and leaving bombs all over the place, what would happen if she started leaving bombs in, like the mayor's office or the police station or one of the
You'll
churches?
see the other officer run off.
You're scaring them. Officer, would it help if I told you that she has a birthmark on her left hip?
Like, he's writing everything down, and he gets to birthmark, left hip, and he'll just kind of crane his neck a little bit and look at you. Go, very good, sir.
It's my elven eyes. I see everything.
That's what we're going to say about it. That's exactly what you're going to say about it.
Understood, sir. That was a very impressive show of martial prowess, sir.
Oh, it was nothing.
No, I'm pretty sure it was something, as he points down at what was Herschel.
Well, this thing attempted on my life, too.
Yes, we all saw that.
Oh, officer, I know that I saw a priest on the train. Maybe he can deal with your problem.
A priest is a great idea. And he will actually turn and call for one of the ones that's at the cart and direct them to come over. When they do, he'll tell him, go to the train and fetch the priest. There's a priest on the train. We need to clean up whatever that thing is.
Also, I heard that fire works really well.
And he'll kind of look back at all of the scorch spots.
I mean, obviously not here, because that would be a big deal, and you don't want to cause a lot of problems, but I just, throwing it out there.
Understood, ma'am.
Now, I'm sorry, is there anything, well, lots of things are going on, but do you mind? It's been a lot. And I would feel a lot better if I could maybe sit down for a little bit. Is it okay if we go sit back on the train, and we'll be right there if you need us?
He'll nod and say, well, I will come get you, Contessa Ferravante, if we need to question or have any other questions for you. You too, Captain. Isolina, what are you doing? I know what you're doing. You're scanning for a vehicle of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
You will notice that up here on the nearest to the train, there really isn't much. A little further on the other side of the train station, you do see a number of carriages and horses, but they are, you have to like walk around so you can see like a different angle to get to the back of the train station, which would be the city facing side of it, because technically you would be on the back of it, if we're talking about architectural design. Is there anything else you wanted to look for?
I'm keeping track of all my companions between Clint, Contessa, and Von Brunt. Making sure I know where they are. Just every once in a while being like, okay, they're still there. Okay, they've moved over here. Sort of that deal. And also, is anybody getting back on the train? Are people now boarding the train? Is the other thing I'd like to know.
You will notice that now that things have kind of died down, they are boarding and loading again.
Okay. Well, then I will look at that, and I will look over at the Contessa and Von Brandt, making their way there, seeing that Maribel is 1,000 years away from us. And because we have to continue our travel, I'm going to move back towards the train.
Okay.
And start looking at the people who are boarding. And start that whole process again of just clocking all the faces, seeing if there's anything of interest. The same thing I did on the train like 1,000 times.
Okay. Excellent. So I'll keep that in mind. Contessa, you're headed back to the train, correct? That's where we ended off with you.
Yeah, the Contessa is holding the arm of the captain and like, nope, we're going this way.
Captain, what are you doing in response to this?
Following.
All right. Clint, tell me what Mr. Smolder is doing.
I think Clint would... Oh, okay. I think knowing that he was right, he would follow out. He would have walked past the hubbub of everything that was going on around the Herschel, and overhearing the questions about where the carriage went, he would have went out into the city.
Okay. So we will end tonight on the scene of the Contessa leading Captain Von Brandt back to the train car. Isolina taking in everything that's going on, watching all the people and where they're moving, seeing how everything seems to start to return to normal after the chaos has died down a bit. Esme giving really detailed instructions that are way over the head of the police officer she's talking to. He's got this confused look on his face. And we're going to end with Clint walking off toward the city and Iselina watching his movements while trying to still clock the other people around her, but coming back over and over again to where Clint's going. Thank you all for showing up for another episode of Adventures in Castle Falkenstein. Thank you to all my players. Simon, take us away.
That was some high-stakes action. And part of me wishes that the Lady Maribel had picked the lower card earlier and would have gone up in the explosion. That gun is awesome. I don't know why you didn't pick it. You didn't draw it like at the first sign of trouble. Like vaporize the zombie.
There was no good time to use it. Like, it's a little bit too powerful for indoors.
I mean, any reason is good reason enough to get that gun out. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, okay, if we wanted the train to continue going on the tracks, not be derailed.
Yeah, there's that. Does it only shoot fireballs?
Depends on the magic bullets I have in it, but right now it's fireballs.
Oh, cool. Well then, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you all of you who hung out in chat. Thank you for the follows, the donations, the subscriptions. Thank you to you guys watching over on YouTube. It's always greatly appreciated to know that there are fans of the show out there. I am Simon at Wandering DM. This has been Adventures in Castle Falkenstein, a stream sponsored by Magen Press, like all of our streams here. Magen Press, you can go at their store at store.magenpress.com. Use code WanderingDM to get 15% off on any book that you buy, which includes the Dark Matter campaign setting, D&D in Space, which we actually play here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, or any of their books, really. They're all pretty good, and the art is amazing. We will see you tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern for the return of the Vampire Dads and their vampire family in our Vampire the Masquerade game, as we continue to be a bickering old couple in the streets of New York. Otherwise, you can catch me on Mondays over on Role Players for some Age of Arcana, and on not next Friday, but the Friday after that, we're coming back with Adventures in Castle Falkenstein. Let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you have going on in your lives, and let's start with Kenny.
Hi, my name is Kenny. You can find me on Twitter at Punderdrone. I also play on the Experience Points Network. We will actually be streaming a Starfinder game tomorrow in which we are playing the Adventure Path Dawn of Flame. Come check us out. We will be playing, I think we start streaming at 2 p.m. Eastern, and that's 11 a.m. Pacific. Other than that, I'm also in a podcast called Cumanera, which is a Numenera game that we release every other Friday. Follow us on our Twitter at EQ Points.
And if you want, you can post it in chat.
Sweet.
If you want to put the links up there. In the meantime, Deirdre, where can we find you?
Oh, hey, all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter or Praxagorth Esmiophoria, as you see me hanging out in the Twitch chat. And tomorrow, I'll be running the Vamp Dads as they run through New York and deal with the consequences of their neonates or their own choices. One of the two. It'll be interesting. And Monday, I will be over on Role Players for some Age of Arcana fun. Things will be happening. It'll be great. But stay tuned. I always post where I'm going to be. Check my Twitter. By the way, Fireball Gun is the best thing ever. Even if the Contessa then had to deal with all the fallout and the bullshit. But Fireball Gun is cool. Just saying.
And PB, where can we find you?
You can find me over at PB Plays Inside over on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. I do variety gaming on my Twitch channel. And you can find me on other channels here every other Friday playing some Castle Falkenstein, and every other Saturday over on the Experience Points channel playing some Starfinder Dawn of the Flame. That game's starting to get real spicy. We're locked down in a very precarious situation that's only going to get more precarious because we're going to go talk to some exes that are a little bit contentious with each other, to put it nicely, along with everything else happening there. But yeah, aside from that, follow me on Twitter to get some hot takes and my thoughts on certain things happening in the world.
Cool. And last but not least is our host, Chris. Where can we find you?
Thank you, Simon. You can find me here in 2 weeks, and then again after that for the final 2 episodes of Adventures in Castle Falkenstein Season 2. And then The Shattered Eye is returning as a podcast, and that will be coming to you all in audio version soon. And hopefully next time we meet, I'll be able to give you more details about where you can find our Shattered Eye podcasts.
Cool. Well, if that is all, let's go and raid our friend Talsquall, who's playing some WoW tonight. I think he's getting back into World of Warcraft for fall. So let's go say hi, spread the love to Squall, and we will see you again here in 2 weeks. Ciao, everyone.